No one has free will in your reality, not even you. So, yes, what I'm saying is there's a particular state in which you can act from in your reality right now, in which your specific person comes to you effortlessly, and you don't have to put in an ounce of action. So you don't have to worry about what to text them, what to call them, if you should text them or if you should call them, what to do, how to act, what to believe. If you assume a specific state, everything is going to align perfectly. And we can actually think of this through a metaphor so that you can do it right now. So remember, you've already done and created everything in your reality. It's already done. The things that you want to manifest, you've already manifested them. Your specific person, you're already together. The $1 billion, it's already done. Literally everything that you could ever imagine, you've already created. And we can think upon this in the way of Neville Goddard's 4D. So he talks about the fourth dimension, which we know is time. So if time is something that can be transversed in the fourth dimension, in the same way that we walk into a room in the 3D, then it means if you were walking the street, you would know that there's something already ahead of you there. And so in the 4D, that's what's happening. Based on your state, there is already a pathway created in front of you based on whatever you are assuming. And so once you get on a path, you actually cannot get off of it until you change your state. So this is the reality in which, as you assume the state, you actually no longer have any free will to complete it. It's already done. You're already compelled to do it. There's specific actions and automatic thoughts and beliefs and things like that that you basically have to do. If you assume the role of being with your specific person, it will act it out automatically. You will have absolutely no choice. Now, we get under this assumption and this illusion of free will because we're able to pick our state, but as soon as you pick the state that you want to be in, everything else is already done. You've already entered into the timeline where you and your specific person are together, and that's what we kind of think of when it comes to like divine guidance or automatic actions in your reality that take you where you want to go. That will all be automatic. But you may be asking, but Kyle, I always ask myself what to do, how to do it, and how to act that way. And that's actually the only thing pulling you out of the state. So instead of being in a state in which you know exactly what to do, by asking, what do I do? How do I do it? You're actively pulling yourself out of this automatic response, of this divine guidance that's taking you directly to where you want to go. And so then all you have to do is put yourself back into it, is to just assume the state again. But I have a little metaphor that's going to make everything make so much more sense, because it's a way in which you can view this four-dimensional reality that if you're confused, it will make it seem so much easier. So in the 4D, each timeline is already set, right? You've already manifested and been with everyone you could ever imagine. You've manifested and created everything. And so if we think about it in the ways of a bunch of roads aligned right side by side next to each other, then you can imagine and know that if you go down any of these roads, you will automatically and always lead to the end. There's only one path that this road can take. Now you can make turns and move your car to a different road as you see fit, but once you're on the road, there is only one direction in which it's going to go. And so that's how you can think of states in your reality. As soon as you pick a state, there's only one direction it must lead to. And it's kind of like my snowboarding video in which I mentioned once you're on the hill, you must reach the bottom. But that's how you make your manifestation effortless. And then it is only the thought of, what do I do? How do I do it? What should I text them? That actually takes you off of this route. Because if you were someone who already knew exactly what to do and were already in the state, you would know exactly what to do. To ask the question of what do I do is actually just a confession that we're not in the state. Because if we were in the state, true knowledge creates true action. And so in the state, you're automatically going to do all the things that you need to do. And so what I mean and how to make your manifestation absolutely effortless is to always put the state first. The state is actually the only thing that you ever need to worry about. If you ever ask the question, what should I do? How should I do it? What should I text them? Remember, that statement can only come from the version of you that doesn't have what they want, or the version of you that's on a route that doesn't lead to where they want to go. So instead, put yourself back into the state by doing an affirmation, by doing a visualization, doing a journaling prompt, doing literally anything. You can even take a physical action to get you closer into the state, and the state will always and automatically produce the outcome that you need in order to get to where you want to go. And outside of that, there's actually actually nothing to do. Now, we fall into this illusion that manifestation can be difficult, but that's only because we're trying to get to a destination that's not on the route or road that we're currently on. So it doesn't matter about how fast you run the road, how you're driving on the road, or anything else like that. That's kind of in the essence of like what to do, how to text your specific person. None of that matters if we are on the wrong road. And as soon as you get on the road, there's no curves, there's no turns, there's no circumstances, there's no road bumps. Once you are on the path and state of being with your specific person, then you must complete whatever actions it is on that road, and it will be done automatically. In the same way, when you jump into that state or that reality, everyone and everything is also under a compulsion, right? It must complete whatever is in alignment of your current state. And so that's why I mentioned no one in your reality has free will, not even you, because once you are picking and choosing a state, everything is set in motion. That's actually what Neville Goddard talks about in his 4D concept, right? You're seeing something that's not technically here yet, but by assuming the state and assuming the role, you are basically completing the entire action that you need to do, which then you arrive in the Sabbath, as Neville Goddard would call, and then there's actually no action and nothing left to do. It's kind of like Neville Goddard mentioning he's going to Barbados and he is going first class. Once he assumes that role, actions and thoughts and beliefs and things to do and how to do it is actually no longer up to him. That's why you never have to worry about how or when your manifestation is going to show up. As long as you assume the state, you are compelled to complete it, in the same way of the metaphor of driving along on a street. If you are on the correct street, you only have one direction to go. Everything is going to place itself and put itself in a perfect alignment in your reality to have you reach that end. And so never worry about what to do in your manifestation, or if you ever find yourself asking that question, go back to the state. It's not a question of what to do. It's not an action problem. It's not an internal belief problem. It's not a circumstance problem. It's just a state problem. And state is just your sense of being. So it's who you feel you are. So in those moments when you truly feel as if everything is working out for you, you're with your specific person, everything is already done, they are obsessed with you, they are in love with you, that's the state I'm talking about. And once you act this out, crazy and wild things begin to happen. And again, it's not something that you actually have to worry about when it comes to action or how or when it's going to happen. You are going to quantum leap to the reality, and it's going to come to you in the absolute quickest way possible. Even take a look at this person who felt the need to message me at 3 a.m. after one of our coaching sessions. They talk about just getting back home from their specific person's house and how all week they have been treating them in the way that they've always wanted to be treated. And when we think about it in the terms of actions, this seems really difficult to do, right? Like, how do I convince my specific person to invite me over? How do I convince them to have fun with me until 3 a.m.? How do I convince them to treat me in the way I want to be treated all week? When we think of actions, it pulls ourselves out of the state, and then it begins to get confusing or worrisome or actually hard to understand. But if you focus on the state just like this person did, you're going to manifest it without even ever having to lift a finger. You don't technically have to do anything in your reality except assume the state, because everything will be under compulsion in order to complete it and take you to the point at which you want to be in, where you and your manifestation are absolutely one. And as always, a great way to think about this is to think about it in the way of the road. Are you on the correct road? If your only choice and only thing you actually had to do was choose the right path and the right road that led you to your specific person, which is in essence your state, would you say that you are in the right state right now? And if not, then why are we even worrying or thinking about actions at all? It's not going to do anything. If you were on the wrong road entirely, there's no choice in worrying about what circumstances, what road bumps, what things lie ahead on your road. You would have to just get on the correct road, and that's all a state, and that's actually a choice that you can make right here and right now. It doesn't take effort, it doesn't take time, it doesn't take anything. It just takes the assumption that you have within you right now. So take a moment and just do something that aligns perfectly with the outcome you want, and then that's literally all you need to do. And if you can remember this metaphor, it's going to make everything effortless. And as well as this, with all my videos recently I've been doing for my members, I've had the Kyle August leaked manifestation files. So basically a complete write-up of this idea and exactly what to do. because I found it helps people a lot more when they can read out exactly what I'm thinking. But I usually also go into a little bit more detail when I write it out. And I also always include a technique. So if this is something that you wanted to check out, if you're a member, definitely check out. It's going to be in the post section for members. But for everyone else, I'll post a little snippet of it just so you can see if you actually want to become a member. Because sometimes these videos are all you actually need. Thank you guys so much for liking the video. Thank you so much for subscribing today. Sorry I had a little bit of a break in between my last video. I actually came down with like this cough sickness. I was coughing a lot. I had a fever, and so I'm feeling a million times better. I still kind of have a cough, but thanks for everyone for manifesting all of this for me and manifesting perfect health, because it's all about an assumption, right? In this same way, it's all a route that we are picking, and there's nothing to do but pick the state. As always, thank you so much for stopping by today. Thank you for joining me for this car talk session, and I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.